This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined. It's been a while with Eddie Hearn. How are you, Eddie?
I'm alright, mate. Are you on your bed or on your sofa?
I'm on my bed.
So am I.
I think you've got a nicer bedspread than I have.
That's so kinky, Rob. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a weird start to the interview. That's fine, though, mate.
Isn't it?
How you been keeping, mate? It's been a while since I spoke to you.
Yeah, I'm alright. I mean, I think this is like the second week, isn't it, of serious lockdown where kind of my attitude is always comes from my dad, really. Is like, yeah, well, roll your sleeves up, well, crack on, still go to work. What's the matter with you? And then 2 weeks ago, obviously, when we got the big word from Boris, haven't really been at work that much, popped in a couple of times just to do some bits that I couldn't do from here, pick up some things, but just basically been at home, especially this week. It's gone quite quick, the week, to be fair. I did wake up Monday thinking to myself, oh my God, this is going to be so painful. You have got kids, but you got a young child.
I've got a kid, yeah. I've got a 2.5-year-old.
Yes, that's not too bad. I've got a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, right? And last week we were homeschooling them, which was hilarious. You should have filmed it; would have done massive numbers. And this week we've just been spending time, really. Just been out for a nice walk, doing a few Instagram lives. Got another one tomorrow with some of our guys. Like about a month ago, when this all broke, we were getting prepared to do shows in studios and stuff like that. So we spoke to a studio that we used to do a lot of poker production with in Stratford, and basically geared up to but sort of run a number of fight nights moving forward. And then obviously they brought in that they weren't going to support the events. The British Boxing Board of Control said, look, we can't guarantee that the doctors we book in for the nights will actually be available on the night. And more importantly, we can't guarantee that the hospitals will give the fighters the services that they require if they were to become injured on the night. So then it was just it was a non-starter completely. Then we produced a series called Fighting Fit, which is a 30-episode fitness series with our fighters and sort of YouTubers and sports stars and pop stars and stuff like that. That launches early next week on Sky. And now we're sort of twiddling our thumbs a little bit, to be honest with you, just creating various different bits of content, coming up with some different kind of ideas. It's difficult, we're a live event company, and that's what we love to do. So the fitness thing was great because it was, filmed out of our comfort zone. It's something completely different. I've seen the results. It's all edited now. Looks really good. So that was nice to sort of try something different. But we miss the live events. We miss the fights. We miss the thrill of fight night. And the truth is, no one really knows when it's going to be back. Is it going to be mid-late June? Is it going to be July? Or is it going to be September? It's going to be one of the three, I think. But incredibly frustrating. I think there are some good things to come out of it. Spend more time with the family. I mean, I've now not been on an aeroplane for probably about 5 weeks, which is like the first time in, 5 years that's happened, especially the first time in a couple of years. Training a bit more, spending obviously a lot of time with the family, thinking, plotting, and I think really getting ready for the fact that when we come back, things won't be the same. We won't have the same momentum that we had in February and March, and it will take a little bit of time to regain that, not trust, but that willingness from the public to go to big live events, until everything is completely in the clear. But people will be dying out for boxing. They will be dying out for live sport. And I feel like when we return, there will be a big opportunity. I think a lot of people won't make it. I think a lot of promotional companies won't make it. I think a lot of fighters won't make it. I think you'll see a lot of smaller hall guys just unable to either balance the two jobs, maybe because one job's not working anymore, and I think it's going to change the game a lot worldwide.
You mentioned that with kind of the way it's going to come back. We've seen recently with Dazn. Dazn have announced, or there's been reports surfacing that Dazn are withholding rights fees. And how is that going to affect not only Dazn's business, but obviously on the other end of that, such as yourselves, other major leagues, etc.
Well, I think for us, I mean, I read the article, and it's a bit of a weird article. It says DAZN is saying they're not going to pay for the events that
Have been
they
postponed.
don't get. It's like, well, obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd love to be in a relationship with a broadcaster where they want to pay me the money when I haven't even done the show. It doesn't work like that. So, and I think the same thing with the football. So I think that affects particularly the football leagues a lot more, because with us, when we do a show, we get paid. Okay? So right now we're going to have a period probably of 3 or 4 months with no shows, but they're just delayed, and then we'll get paid when we come back. You know, so still not great for our business, and that's not just boxing. That's darts, snooker, you know, all across the field. So with the football leagues, I think it's a different kind of problem, because if you imagine you've got this pot of money that is there to basically finance and fund each individual football club and the individual leagues, and now that money will not be paid in full if they've not produced. It's a force majeure. You know, it's a situation where DAZN would say, in the instance of the article you said, well, we paid for this season, we didn't get it. So obviously we're not paying for the games that we didn't have, which is exactly what I would be doing if I was DAZN or Sky. That's why the football leagues, particularly the Premier League now, are so desperate to try and get it finished. But if you look in the situation of a subscription model for a broadcaster, if you were going to get, I don't know, 3 or 4 games a month for 3 months, and now you're getting 12 games in a month, that doesn't give you the same kind of value as a subscription platform, a monthly subscription platform, as it would have done. So there's going to be loads of arguments. There's going to be loads of football clubs going skin, because they've already spent that money, by the way. No football club said, oh, let's just only base the revenue from the Premier League on the amount of games we've played to date. They've spent it. Do you know what I mean? On transfers, everything. So a lot of football clubs are in dire straits. To be honest with you, a lot of sports are in big trouble. I don't think boxing's really. I think the only way it affects boxing is probably the live gate initially. I think the viewing figures will be fantastic. I think the pay-per-view numbers will be brilliant. But it may take a little bit of time for people to start going to 20,000 at Manchester or 80,000 at Spurs, unless we're over it, or unless there's a cure, or, you know, something. I don't know. But I'm fairly relaxed. I mean, it's definitely a bad thing for everybody's business. But there will be a huge amount of opportunities for well-run businesses with good liquidity once they come through this.
Just final one on that, Eddie. You mentioned about the kind of the studio shows, and I know there's been talk about that previously. Is that, do you think, what's most likely to be our first port of call when we come out of this, however long that is, doing those studio shows, those smaller shows first?
I think so, yeah, and that's something we're planning. I mean, you know, our first show back is June 27 in Newcastle, and I'm still hopeful that's got a chance, to be honest with you. But I do think we'll have the opportunity to certainly run studio shows in June. And I think it's probably something we're going to have to do, because, one, I think we need to get boxing back. 2, the fighters need to get out and get paid. And we're going to have such a logjam of events. If we don't start till July or August or September, you know, the guys that boxed in February or March or June or January now want to box again. And there's many guys that haven't even boxed all year, you know. So it's going to be really difficult to get the guys back. That's why I keep saying to fighters, you've got to stay focused and ready, because when you come back, I might go to you, right, you're on in July. And it's like, oh, bloody hell. Oh, I've been eating out. I've been in the house for the last 5. Sorry, mate, it's not my problem. You know, we're ready to go. You better be ready to go. And they will be, to be fair. I think fighters have taken it quite well at the moment, as long as the delay's not too much longer. You know, I think if we start going to September, October, November, that's going to hurt people bad. You know, if we can get up and running back end of the summer, I don't think it'll be too bad. What
type of level fights are you talking about for studio fights, Eddie?
I would probably do Harper Jonas there. Next gen, but when you talk about people like Lewis Ritson, and that for me, that is the live crowd in Newcastle makes that event, that show. But there is no problem running out a next gen style show in a studio. It's never ideal. There's not going to be a crowd. There's not going to be an atmosphere, But we need boxing, and we need to give the fighters activity. And if that's a possibility to do before we come back into big arena shows, I will definitely be looking to do it.
Would you be looking at potentially reintroducing or introducing midweek boxing?
I don't think it really matters, really. I mean, especially if it's a studio show, and especially if people are just dying out for live sport. Like I say, every sport right now is gearing up, saying, right, when we come back, we got to hit it really hard. We got to give the best product we can. So for us, we got to stack cards. Got to speak to Sky and say, look, let's maybe combine some shows, do some mega shows when we come back. There's non-stop discussions because everyone's got a load of time on their hands at the moment. So right now, everyone's just chatting, talking, coming up with ideas. But still, the truth is no one knows when the return will be.